The parallettes have arrived and I wanted to put them to the test straight away. I recorded all of these sets for the superset that I did. Basically, I started off with explosive pull-ups and I went straight into negatives for the handstand push-up on the parallettes. In the first one, I only did one because I wanted to assess how my shoulder reacted to this very heavy eccentric movement. And I was happy to notice that it did not cause me much pain, or at least I'm feeling a slight tension at the back of the shoulder, but it does not give me pain. And so I believe that this is a movement that agrees with the situation that my rotator cuff is in at this time, which is great because when I'm doing the overhead presses, usually the negative is what triggers the annoyance at the back of my shoulder. So there must be something in the mechanics of the movement that are slightly different in the handstand push-up that allow me to go all the way down and still keep the pain under control. So after the first one, I went for a few sets with aiming at 2 repetitions. Again, I'm noticing that it's very easy for me to go all the way up, but it's a bit harder for me to actually control my legs. This one was a good repetition, but it was probably the best one that I was able to pull out in this session here. My legs tend to overshoot a bit, and so I need to focus on keeping the hips straight, and as I lower down, the legs stay kind of upright, which is a good thing. When I'm doing them on the floor, they tend to lean back and to make it more challenging in terms of balancing. And looking at the explosive pull-ups, I might have to increase the frequency on these because I don't really notice much improvement. Knowing that exercises like the push press are out of the plan for the time being because of the rotator cuff issue, I could actually use an extra session just to accrue some extra volume, as these sets with the explosive pull-ups tend to be very low in repetitions because performance tends to decrease quite rapidly after 3 or 4 reps. I think that increased frequency is probably a good thing. And looking at this last set from a different angle at the handstand push-up negatives, the last 2 were pretty tiring. I don't think that I was able to complete the last one fully, but I'm pretty satisfied that I was able, after a few weeks of never doing this exercise and with some problem with my shoulder, to do 3 sets of 2 repetitions each. And I will keep moving forward. This is just a hold. I wanted to work on the core stability, on keeping my hips in control. I can see my legs overshooting a bit. As I'm lowering the legs here in attack, they always tend to go back, and this is also what makes me fall at the end of the hold. And lower body was just a few exercises to move the body. Really, the only thing that was challenging to an extent was these hanging leg raises with the extra weight at the end to increase the lever, the moment arm. The front squats were not feeling great. This was maybe more of a technique day because I don't want to put too much pressure on my wrist. The front rack position is giving me some annoyance, and I'm noticing that also especially when I'm not looking at myself in the mirror, I tend to shift as I'm lowering down in the squat to the right. So there is something that needs to be addressed still, and higher volume, lower intensity in the days in between my back squat days are probably a good thing. Also, getting more time in the bottom position should help with dorsiflexion. I'm really focusing on breaking at both the knees and the hips, and kind of feel my shins move forward, drift forward. And this is a different sensation that hopefully is going to guide me in improving my ankle flexibility, my dorsiflexion, and the mobility down there. And well, there was a new toy in the gym, so I had to try it. But in the meantime, I was also doing this superset with the bicep curls, the hammer curls, and the side holds, just to get some volume in for the arms and the side of the core, which I have not been doing for a few days, and I need to get back on track with that. So getting some extra blood pumping in the elbows because of a lot of pressing that I'm doing, and especially with the handstand push-ups, it's good to keep that joint at least in check. This was fun, and hopefully I did not overdo the volume on the handstands. Ciao.